Hey, this is Steve86. You're listening to Food Slinging Trash Talking Nerds. Today we got Von Tez from Lubbock talking with us. Really cool dudes. Check them out on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, whatever, man. They got shows coming up and they're writing good music. But, so I hope you enjoy the episode and hit the music. Yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. So, just to run over a few things, I've been looking at y'all's Facebook and stuff, kind of stalking you, I guess, is what my wife says. But, so it says y'all's page was on here since 2016, so that's what, 4 years? Have y'all been around longer than that, or?
I guess the whole recording process and everything together probably was what really when we hit Caldwell. But as far as a band, I'd say probably 2017. I think the fall of 2016 is when me and Daniel started getting it going. Then we got Danny and that winter.
Oh wow, man! So what?
I want to say we started playing in 2017.
That's a while, man. 13 years. That's cool.
No. 2017.
Oh, yeah, 2017. Oh, okay. I thought you said 2007. Sorry about that.
That's when we released. We've known each other.
Yeah, y'all's music video's been out for, as of my last check, 2 months and 3 days. That's pretty cool. I like that video. That's a cool thing, man. Like, I've got a little girl, 7 years old, going to school, and bullies are not my biggest. I'm not the biggest fan of bullies.
Yeah, it's something that was really close to us. It's something we really felt was a real big problem. So it was a really important message to get out there, do it in a creative, I guess.
Oh yeah, and it's a really awesome video. Anybody who hasn't seen that will check it out. I'll put the link in the description so it's easy to find. But so y'all got any new album in the works? I know y'all have one album on Spotify that's really good. I like it personally. I've described it as an 80s sort of Foo Fighters kind of vibe to it.
The recent thing we've been doing, and we're trying to, it's kind of still up in the air. We haven't really set anything down yet, but we're kind of looking at doing more of a single release throughout the next year, and maybe when we get to a certain cutoff point, maybe 3 or 4 singles deep into it, or we may cut an EP out of that, or it just kind of depends. We're also in the works of trying to get our own home studio going, and we're getting some equipment in and starting to head that direction. So, I mean, if we get that done by about midsummer or so, we may even just decide to cut an album on our own or do an EP on our own. Or everything's kind of still up in the air at this point, so we haven't really got that exactly down yet. But for sure, we do want to release new music by this year.
Oh yeah,
and that's the main, getting some new songs out.
Yeah, this is the first year I've had the whole New Year, New Me vibe. Start this podcast. It's pretty cool. 2020, man, I like it. But I almost totally forgot. Y'all go ahead and introduce yourselves so people can know what voice they're listening to.
I'll start off first. So I'm Sergio. I'm the lead singer and lead guitarist of Von Tez. Pass it over.
I'm Daniel, the bass player. Do a little bit of backup years.
I'm Danny. I'm the drummer. I was on the recording, and now they've asked me to be in the band. So far, so good.
Oh yeah, you guys rock, man. I dig it a lot. Y'all just played a Valentine's Day show, and I assume that went pretty well.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun. We did that one over at 4th Street, and it's actually been a while since we'd played there, so it's right in the neighborhood that we practice out of in the Arnett Benson area, so kind of like our own hometown show, I guess you could say. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. Do y'all have any, would you say that's your personal favorite venue, or do y'all have any favorites you like to play? I know you can't really say too much about that, don't want to step on toes or whatever, but...
I won't list the favorite, but I'll name some good places that I think that we usually have good turnouts, and I think Gold Bar is a good one. Cujo's is usually, and of course, anytime we get to play, this is awesome too.
Oh yeah, I love the O Bar. When I lived back in Lubbock, man.
I'm sure the boys will comment on that too. That favorite places to play?
I guess from my perspective, mine's a little biased because even when I wasn't playing with the band, every Sunday I'd try to go out to O-Bar where they have the open gyms, and back in the day when Backstage was open, they'd have it there. So it was really, I was kind of used to all the bartenders there, so it's kind of different when you're there. I kind of know everybody, so.
That's cool, man. I love O-Bar, man. That was my personal favorite. I lived across, like almost directly across the street from that place for a year and a half, and just walk over there right after work. Yeah. So, speaking of venues, what would y'all say, like, out of all the concerts you played, would the craziest experience you've had, whether it be with the crowd, another band, or just whatever?
I think that Danny should answer this one. He's had the most live experience out of all of us.
The after party after we played the bike rally, we played after the rally ended. They let us play a little bit after on one of the side stages, and that one was pretty cool. People would drive by on their bikes, stop by, listen, and we had a good little audience. It was an after party, so yeah, we started late and ended late, but it was a good exposure for us, and to get ourselves out there.
That's awesome, man. I've been to some pretty wild shows in Lubbock though, but that's cool, man. Y'all play in bars most of the time, or?
Usually, yeah. We stick to a lot of bars here in town. We've been trying to, kind of branch out of Lubbock a little bit. We're trying to hit up some of the bars in like Amarillo, even south, and then even looking towards the Dallas area.
Oh yeah.
Shoot, man, even some in New Mexico and Oklahoma. Just to kind of get us spread out. We want to try to reach as many people as we can.
Oh yeah, man.
And,
even Abilene, dude. I know they used to have a little bit of a music scene. Don't hear about too many concerts from there anymore, but that's even a pretty big, decent sized town that could pull pretty good audience.
Yeah, you're looking at that.
Midland, Odessa, yeah. I've been in the West Texas music scene for a while, just all over the place. Like, I could try to promote as much as I can because I like y'all's music a lot, man. I want to see y'all go far,
Thanks, man. We appreciate it.
So, speaking of playing in bars or whatever, if your band was an alcoholic beverage, what would you say it is?
I'll let Daniel answer that one.
Oh yeah, actually, I was listening to your podcast when you interviewed the Gods That Failed, Martin and Steven.
Yeah, those are really cool guys.
Yeah, they're really, really awesome people. I love them both. And I actually was thinking about this question on the way here, and I came up with spiced rum, because maybe on the outside it just looks like rum, but once you get in and listen, there's some spice to it. We'll cover songs that maybe some other bands wouldn't, or do a single that maybe is like completely different than previously, so it's got a little spice. Yeah,
it's a little surprise there that you're not expecting. You said cover songs, huh? I've not heard any of these.
I think that's more of a we do them at our live shows for sure. We haven't recorded any covers, which is an idea I know Daniel's been kind of pushing into doing. So I mean for sure that's something we'll have to take up.
Yeah. Well, is it a live only treat or like what's your favorite cover to play?
Oh man.
Well, it's not necessarily. I guess the spice I was talking is kind of more like we cover, for example, Post Malone. We cover a Post Malone song.
Oh, really?
Something really uncommon you'd see, I think.
That's really awesome. I want to hear that.
And I think is there a recording of that on? Maybe not.
There may not be, but we can find one to try to upload sometime so the fans can check.
Yeah, I'll do some looking on YouTube and see if I can find it. I was listening to y'all's album on Spotify, and my personal favorite is Dr. Doctor, and if y'all don't mind, I kind of ripped it off YouTube already, and I was going to put it in the middle of the show. Like a little commercial break. Cool. I didn't think y'all... Cool. Yeah, I had that song stuck in my head for almost a week straight, man. Yeah, it jams up. So even my coworkers got to hear it,
Oh, cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so y'all got any new shows coming up, or?
We do. There is a guy by the name of Harvey, and he's got like he did this whole one take series. I'm not too sure if you'd seen that on Facebook.
No, I'll have to check it out.
It's really cool. Yeah, it's really cool. He did like interviews and stuff. Anyways, he's got like a farewell show coming on, so we're gonna be playing that. And I think we hit the O Bar, was it March 13th? That's one of our headlining, I guess, full shows. So that's probably the next big one I would say that we're actually headlining. That March 13th will be at the O Bar on 4th Street.
And I will try my damnedest to bring the show on the road there. That would be very cool, man. It sounds like a good show. Oh, I wanted to ask, what Post Malone song is it? Because that's a guilty pleasure of mine. I don't know why I love Post Malone, but I think it's because I've
check us out.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Just kidding. It's actually Goodbyes. Goodbyes, but
Huh. I will have to come check that out. I think I like him so much. I don't know if y'all have heard. He does a cover of Fleetwood Mac or Stevie Nicks. I forget what hers is, but his is California Dreams, and it's pretty cool, man.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's. I was like, why does this song sound so familiar? And then I heard Fleetwood Mac on the radio, and I was like, oh my god, that's awesome, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a real big personal fan of him too, because I've seen him play with. He played with the Chili Peppers at one point too.
That's cool.
It's really cool to see.
And I remember hearing when he first started, he was a metalhead, and there's a band called Crown the Empire, I think is what they're called, but they're from the same area he was. I believe it's somewhere in Dallas. But he tried out for their band, and they didn't take him in, and so he went and said, fuck it, I'm going to be a rapper.
What I like about him, though, is he kind of brings some of the rock back to some of the newer generation. He's did that little deal with Ozzy on one of his songs, brought back a guitar solo, shredding it at the end of the song. So he kind of incorporates some metal and some rock in his music.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
pretty cool to me.
Yeah, I've seen videos of him, I guess, posting on TikTok or whatever app it is they use nowadays of, like, screaming along to A Day to Remember. It's kind of cool. I was like, wow, yeah, I can dig this guy. Like, I'm not a huge fan of rap, but I can respect it.
Yeah.
But so, speaking of rap, if you could collaborate with any artist, living, dead, big, small, who would it be? All three of y'all. I want to hear your choice.
I'll let Danny go first. See who collaborates.
I guess, our music is kind of based in the 80s. So, probably to me, one of the big 80s is a band, or even just would be Iron Maiden.
Oh.
Danny.
Mine, I guess, now that the original Chili Pepper, or not original, but the Frusciante's back, I'd like to collaborate with the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Like when they were still crazy, going on stage, like young with the socks on their dicks or whatever.
No, I wouldn't do the sock. They're just one of my favorite all-time bands.
Oh, they
pretty
jam.
Cool to do something with them.
I love their Roller Coaster of Love cover. I believe it's a cover anyway.
Yeah.
It's so funky, dude. I love when Flea's such a good bassist, man. It just makes me want to dance, honestly.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I think that's when they had Dave Navarro. I think he's in the music video because it's like a Beavis and Butthead song.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the music video is all animated.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was in the Beavis and Butthead Do America movie.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it was.
I love Beavis and Butthead. Probably where I got all my rock, or where I started liking rock, watching those two.
Yeah.
Kick it out, Beavis.
Fire.
Mike Judge is such a great, like he does King of the Hill and even his movies. I don't know if y'all have seen any of those, but they're really good. Like Idiocracy and Office Space.
Idiocracy is one of my guilty pleasures.
Oh, that doesn't have to be a guilty pleasure. Well, maybe it does because I think it's kind of coming true, just a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Just a little bit. Speaking of, who are y'all gonna vote for?
Montez.
Oh, Montez 2020.
Right.
Yeah.
Heard that. That sounds good to me. I try to stay out of politics also, but people like to hear about it. I don't know why. I'm just like, whatever, man.
Yeah. That's one of our little kind of rules, kind of just
Stay away
keep
from
it
it.
out of the. Yeah, don't piss anybody off. For no reason.
Yeah, it usually ends up in arguments. It's never a discussion.
Right. That's true.
Like, as long as you do vote, I guess that's the most.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll say this: do vote, because